loved one recovering from a recent hospitalization, stroke, fall, etc. Maybe they're living with dementia. Maybe they need a mobility assistance or medication reminders or services for bathing, things of that nature. aplaceathome.com/Dublin is your go-to. You can also give them a phone call at 740-472-8181. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. If you're going to place bets online, do it at MyBookie. Use promo code OHIO, OHIO. Get $500 of bet back services. You can bet on everything from the CFP to the NFL to the playoffs to the NBA basketball, college basketball. Shoot, I don't know. Bet on Tiddlywinks if it's available to you. $500 in bet back services. And of course, in the link below, we have links to our new merch store. Get yourself a Podfather hoodie. Wear that thing around town with pride. And when someone asks, who in the world is the Podfather? You can bring them right here to our YouTube channel here on the OHIO podcast. Joining us this evening, everybody, our esteemed panel this evening. Dr. Corey's below me. It is King Kong Bart diagonally from me and right across to my left, on to your right. That's the wild man himself, Chris Wilds, and you are you, and we appreciate all of you joining us this evening. Boys, is Michigan not the program that just keeps giving? They are the perfect gift this time of year. They literally give us something new every single day to talk about. Today's no different. Their fifth offensive coordinator in the past 5 years has decided to leave their program. They will be looking for not only a new head coach, but obviously a new offensive coordinator in 2026 as well. Chip Lindsey has decided he's going to be leaving and heading to Missouri. Interesting, he's heading to Missouri when that's the place home of Eli Drinkwitz, who Michigan man's trying to tell me that might be who their next head coach is. But yet that guy just poached their OC. It's amazing. Let's go counterclockwise. Dr. Corey, the floor is yours. Get us started tonight.
Sorry, I muted myself. I'm actually going to give Michigan credit on this one.
What?
Because it used to be they'd be arrested for looking at co-eds illegally. And now they just opt to leave the cesspool rather than join the cesspool in an immoral way. So I have to give them credit.
Or at least they're getting better.
It's getting better. It's actually improving a little bit. I mean, I didn't know the bar could go that low because it's kind of all of the scandals they've had are unprecedented in college football. The NCAA, of course, looking the other way. But it is fun fodder for us to see how terrible that program is because we all knew it the whole time. Chris, he's been saying it for years, how horrible it is up there. So I will give Chris a bow on this one, tip of the hat to Chris on this one because he's been saying it for years. But if we're not going to get the penalties they deserve, which we all know what they deserve, the death penalty like SMU got, because you talk about lack of institutional control. I've never seen anything this bad in my life. Most people would be fired many years ago, but this guy is like, I'm dipping, I'm done. This program's, I don't even know why I came here. Forget it. And going to Missouri. Now, what are they also saying? Michigan, the blue blood, which I don't know, they're starting to lose that qualification. He went to Missouri in a lateral move. He's saying Missouri is a higher program than Michigan now. I tell you what, Christmas came early. This is all I need. I'm stuffed. I can't eat another bite. I'm good. But I will certainly take the dish that keeps coming.
Well, I can eat another bite, and I probably will, Corey. So. Yeah. He's got to know that, first of all, it's not going to get any better. It's going to get worse before it gets better. And, a new coach coming in, they're going to want some continuity from a program, but now he's got to get a new coach, a new offensive coordinator, and probably multiple other people.
They have no permanent head coach. Their offensive coordinator's bailing ship. You got guys who I know are just up there lining up to get in the portal. You know they are. They may deny it, but they are. No coach wants to touch this job. You've got Jabba the Hutt up there in charge of the program, who may be the most corrupt piece of trash to ever be a part of college football. And let's face it, this team has never overcome. They've never resolved it. They've never came to terms with the Harbaugh hangover. That's what this is, guys. This is all part of the Harbaugh hangover. And the only way they can fix this is a complete and total purge of the program. And I'm talking, you got to fire Ward Manuel. You got to get a grown-up CEO in there as head coach. You've got to have a competent athletic director. You've got to clean up the entire chain of command from the water boy all the way up to the board of regents. And you've got to start re-recruiting what little talent you've got on this roster. And you've got to go out and start trying to bring some talent in who can just keep you above water until you can get a real coach who can come in there and do the job the right way. Because, guys, this is an absolute mess. There is nothing good or positive at all that can come out of this bowl season. And I'm going to tell you, the next season in Ann Arbor. Nothing positive can happen there.
This is it? It's not lost on me he went to Missouri. That's what's funny about
there's an irony there.
Yes, there is completely an irony there. Let me go through the list real fast. You had Josh Gaddis in 2021. You had Matt Weiss, however he pronounces it, in 2022. Sharon Moore in 2023. Kurt Campbell in 2024. And now Chip Lindsey in 2025. They would be absolutely, I mean, it wasn't that long ago, a few weeks ago, they were on social media. They were all in our mentions, Chris, about Brian Hartline leaving.
Yeah.
And then I sit here and I'm like, how can you literally come here, try to talk trash with me about Brian Hartline leaving and going to USF?
For a head coaching position, by the way.
Can you imagine if he left for the offensive coordinator position for South Florida? It's the same exact thing. Him leaving here and going to be offensive coordinator for South Florida.
Yeah, good point. But yet, after they want to say that, you look at the list of OCs in the last 5 years, and how many of them have been fired, right?
How many of them have been arrested?
Weiss is arrested. Sharon Moore's been arrested. The one 2 years ago, Campbell got fired. Gaddis, what happened? Gaddis is in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
What happened to Gaddis?
He got arrested.
No, he didn't.
Oh, okay. It was a 50-50 shot. Come on.
But you had cheater, pervert, psycho, cheater, and this last guy who did nothing. But
at least, at least he didn't commit a crime.
Yeah. Or violate any NCAA bylaws that we are aware of.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least he doesn't seem like he's a perv. He just seems like he's an adequate off OC. I mean, he's not really great.
Let's wait a week and see what happens. It comes out in the news there, Dr. Corey.
That's a fair point. You know what? We're in the new territory now. This is uncharted territory. We keep thinking, okay, so he's probably just leaving for another job. No, oh wait, he's leaving because he's had an affair or something. So we'll just have to wait and see. You're right.
So Eric, do you think with the offensive coordinator leaving, is Underwood gone? How do they keep some of their people, knowing that the transfer portal is coming up soon? No head coach, no offensive coordinator. Even if Biff stays, are you going to stay for Biff if you're a quarterback? Say, hey, I want to get developed. If he stays, it has to be just for money. That's it.
Well, I was about to show you. I'm trying to find the someone put in the chat that he feels like they're going to be able to keep the roster through NIL.
That's a lot of NIL.
That's a lot.
For a hell of a lot of talent.
Yeah, exactly.
You
We're a
might be
9-3
able,
team.
and I apologize. Whoever put that in the chat, I saw it. I didn't get it up on the screen. I'm sorry. They're going to be able to, I think, maybe to maintain their roster through NIL, but then that you have to question motivation at that point, right? Are you really doing this for what's best for you? Are you doing this because your motivation is to win, or are you doing this simply because of the paycheck? That has to be a legitimate question given this. Now, I will say this. I like Biff. I think he's pretty cool. I really do. I think he's a funny guy. I think he's the good guy to put in as interim for not only now but for a year if they need him to. And I felt like I was the first person to say that weeks ago, but it seems to be catching on a little bit more with their fan base. I'm asking you to remove your scarlet and gray glasses. I know that's hard to do.
Fine.
I want you to tell me I want you guys to tell me what you think would be best for them in this situation if the roles were reversed and this was Ohio State. What is the best thing for them, in your opinion, Corey?
You're right. Let's be objective here. Go with Biff the next year at least. You got to start. They got to start from ground zero. That we're at least at an eligible program, because it's been such a dumpster fire. This is way beyond. This coach wasn't as good as we had hoped, and he was getting us 500 records, where you can bounce back pretty quick. The char off the burning of this dumpster fire is just constantly smoking. And Biff may be that guy, like, let's go back to, like, I don't know, like Gerald Ford. You just be a guy that's like kind of get you to the next stage, because it's just we got to calm things down right now, because this program is such in disarray. We need somebody just to kind of steady the ship for now, without paying him a crazy amount of money, so we can regroup. Because right now, if you look over the message boards, the people who have the money at Michigan don't even want to give them money. So when I think it's funny when they talk about chump change, they talk about NIL and things like that, you don't even know if you're going to have it. Because right now they're embarrassed. The alumni, rightfully right now, are embarrassed by the actions of the football program and the Ward Manuel, the AD. Now, if it weren't for Dusty May making an amazing basketball program, they'd be totally sunk at the moment. He'd probably be fired on the spot. But I think right now you go with Biff, even if it turns into 2-3 years, go with him just to steady the ship a little bit, and then rebuild the war chest, and then go after a huge name at the right time. Because right now the names are gone. Nobody even wants to touch that program. Jed Fish don't want to touch the program at the moment. I don't know, maybe that changes but they would have to shell out in a crazy amount of money to get him, I think, at this point. Dillingham staying in Arizona State. He chose Arizona State, and he's claiming he never got an offer from Michigan. There was clearly interest. The guy from Missouri, Drinkowitz, is staying. I mean, like, nobody wants to touch that program. Just stick with Biff. At least he, like you said, Eric, he comes off like an honest guy who's a pretty solid character, and he's a likable guy. Make your program at least likable to some degree again. Not to us, we'll never like them, but to the general public, because right now everybody sees what a cesspool it is right at the moment.
I see. I don't know if I got to be on this panel or not, but I completely disagree. Biff has got to go.
Get off. Leave.
What?
He has got to go. Okay, tell me this. They're set back at least 2 to 3 years before becoming competitive again. Their program is a dumpster fire. And if you say, oh, Biff is great, he was right there and he knew everything. You can't tell me they're not in the coach's room and he knows everything going on. So you guys are naive if you think, oh, this guy is all this great, honest guy.
I'm talking about public perception, not just, what
he knew everything was going on. If you really want to fix Michigan, you get rid of everybody. I don't care if you have to start small, get a guy coming in, but you got to get rid of everybody to even start over, because they're set back 2 or 3 years. If they get Biff for a year, that just sets them back another year, because they have no idea who their coach is going to be, no idea who the offensive coordinator to be. But to sit here and say that Biff is all this, this honest guy, give me a freaking break. I mean, honestly, he had to know everything was going on. He knew the sign stealing stuff. He knew what was Sherelle
Biff
doing.
wasn't there then, though, right?
Yeah, he was there in 2020 as part of
2020.
That's
That was
when they
COVID.
got this started, Eric.
That was the 2021.
That was the year they bailed on us, and that's when the plan was set into motion.
But that's not when they started the cheating. That was 2021.
But the plan was in place in 2020. Count on it, guaranteed.
Okay, so he came here.
I don't know if
but
I agree with that, actually.
He knew everything was going on. You can't tell me he didn't. But he just stood back here like a good soldier. He needs, he might be a nice guy, but if I'm a Michigan fan, I want everybody gone and starting over the clean slate because it's going to take 2 or 3 years, and you might get it right. But just kicking the can down the road for a year just because he's there, that's not going to move the needle. Now, Chris, you can go.
Now, let me I'm going to back up what Bart said.
Thank
I
you.
agree with his take on the honesty level of Biff. I don't think he can be trusted. At the same time, I do have to disagree with you, Bart. I think Eric and Corey are right that at the moment, he is their best option. Nobody's going to touch this job. You've got an athletic department that's under review from an outside firm just to see how deep and how bad this toxic culture has gone. And if you rush into a big splash hire, I think it almost guarantees a misalignment, messy contracts, and moreover, as you get more turnover higher up the ladder, you may find that the next guy doesn't even want the head coach you hired. So I almost feel like, for the sake of the program, through next season, I would not go a step further than that. Through next season, you keep Biff. But, Bart, I do agree with the part that you said. I don't know how trustworthy he is. He was Harbaugh's right-hand man. He was Moore's right-hand man. I believe you're right. I think he probably knows a lot more than what he's sharing. But at the same time, I think he is the option that makes sense for Michigan at this time until they get a new AD and decide what's going on from there.
All right, I got to chime in really quick. No, now I completely agree with Bart because I just looked up his record here. I thought he was there before the cheating, but he was there from 21 to 22 as the associate head coach at Michigan, and he left from 23 to 24 to go to Charlotte, and then he came back. So he was there during the cheating. So now you're right. Take it, get rid of everybody, and start over. I completely agree. Now I'm on Bart's side.
Well, to be fair, Biff knew a lot because of the sports almanac that he stole in the future.
But if you keep Biff for another year, how do you keep people not going to transfer portal? But more importantly, how do you recruit? Oh, okay. Well, this is what we had left over. We have no idea who our coach is going to be. But this summer, hey, please come on. Well, I guarantee you we'll have a good coach.
But Bart, don't you think a rush hire makes things worse because then you're just perpetuating the uncertainty?
So what's the downside? You get
the downside is you could actually make it worse.
How? You tell me how it could get worse. Right now, you tell me
how could it get worse?
Yes,
you bring in a big splash head coach. The next AD says, "I don't want this guy," fires him, and then you have a whole team jump in the portal.
Well, you're gonna have that now.
You're not gonna have the whole team jump in the portal. You may lose some key players. I agree. You're gonna lose some key players, but you could have the whole damn team jump in the portal if you get this guy, this fabulous. Let's say they go out and they get Kalen DeBoer. I'm just going to throw that out there, even though we know it's not happening. Kalen DeBoer. And he brings these guys in. He brings transfers from Alabama that came with him. And I don't know, maybe there was some freshman kid that was with him when he was out at Washington who wants to come with him and come over now and play in Michigan. And then he's got these recruits lining up to come with him. And all of a sudden the next coach says, you know what? This isn't going to work. Or the next athletic director says, this isn't going to work. We're going to have to scrap this and start over. And you've built this whole team around him at this point. You've just not only set yourself back the 3 years you already set back, you've just set it back another 5.
Okay, so if you're going to go hire an AD and knowing that, hey, this is not our coach and this is going to screw our whole program, are you going to hire that AD?
But you may not know that until they get in a room together.
Well, that's why you hire. That's why you ask questions. That's
why the AD has to be in place first.
Yeah, well, they don't have time. I don't know. I think everybody's got to go to really clean that program. That's just the way it is. If there's anything left over, it's still going to be saying you're just kicking the can down. And I hate Michigan. I'm just saying if you want to start it over, start it now and do it right.
I do agree with, ironically, both Chris and Bart here. If you got to wait for see if Ward's going to be there or not. I mean, I do agree with that because you're right, Chris. If you bring somebody in, the new AD comes in, like, I don't like this guy, get rid of him. Then they're also paying a ton more money, which is less for NIL to pay him and then to get a new coach. If they're going to, I agree with Bart's premise: clean house, but start with the AD.
Yeah, I agree with that as well.
Yeah,
They've screwed themselves by waiting so long, but yeah.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
How in the world does Ward Manuel still have a job?
Don't even get me started.
He's got Matt Weiss pictures or something. I don't know.
He was athletic director of the year.
He,
Come on, Eric.
he knows where all the bodies are buried, and it goes higher than him. I think the Board of Regents knows things. I think that the former president of the university knew things.
Yep. Just like the Joker in The Dark Knight, he's like, I know a squealer when I see one, and he's a squealer.
Great reference. Here we go.
He's not the only one. They've got a blonde on the payroll up there still who's in the same boat. I'm pretty sure.
And we know she's a squealer. So.
Okay, interesting point. How do we know Biff didn't squeal?
I mean,
because he's the head coach.
Well, that would mean maybe he did. That's why he's the interim right now.
Did he know for sure he would be the interim?
He was a cheating weasel, so he may have ratted him out just to get the job.
I don't know, man. This story's got so many legs at this time, man. It is every day it's something new. I got such joy over the weekend when I went to bed Friday night and Caleb DeBoer and Alabama had beaten Oklahoma, and all the posts on social media from the Team Up North fans was, we're getting Dillingham now. I guess it's going to be Dillingham. That's who we're going to get. And then I wake up Saturday morning and he got a contract extension.
And quite frankly, the money he got from Arizona State couldn't come close to what Michigan could give.
No, it wouldn't. Which is why some of them are still saying, let's just throw the bag at him. Who cares? Let's go pursue. Guys,
nobody wants to give Michigan money right now.
If you are a head coach in college football right now who has any kind of a reputation, you are thanking the University of Michigan and Penn State University, because you gave them the greatest leverage in negotiations that they could have possibly wanted. They may tell you they're interested, but they're doing that to get a raise from their current job.
Oh, yeah.
And
guys, let's face it. It's not Alabama. It's not Georgia. It's not Ohio State. It's not they're not blue bloods anymore. Penn State and Michigan are not blue bloods, and the fact is nobody wants to go there.
Serious question. I'm serious as a heart attack. What's a better job, Indiana or Michigan?
Right now, Indiana.
I think long-term Michigan. I mean, come on, you guys. Indiana. And see, this is what makes me mad about Indiana. Everybody thinks Indiana's great. They've had 2 successful seasons in a row.
But
they're in a better position for the immediate future.
Yeah.
But okay, if you want to be, but if you go in there to Michigan and do anything and get it back on track, you could have a coach. You could have a job.
Okay, but Bart, look, let's say Indiana job, Michigan job, both open right now. Which one are you choosing? I'm not choosing Michigan in the situation they're in right now.
I'll probably go be offensive coordinator at Missouri, probably. So.
Great answer.
No, they just hired one.
Well, honestly, it depends. If you can get a young up-and-comer and say, hey, you can pick your offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, shape the program how you want, why not Michigan? You got a lot of control there that you possibly.
If they have a solid AD and they have they're cleaning house, then yes, I agree Michigan long term. But as they stand right now, no way, no.
Yeah, well, I still think Indiana got, and I can't say lucky, but 2 portal quarterbacks that's been really, really good. He's going to have to do that every year to be competitive. And one of these years, his luck's going to run out, and his quarterback's not going to be the greatest he thinks. But yeah.
Yeah, there's a former Ohio Bobcat coach available. Yeah,
But
true.
by the way, just to our buddy from Penn State over there, you're not a blue blood anymore. You haven't won a national title in 40 years. And you can talk
barely get
all
a
you
10-win
want.
season these days.
You can talk all you want about your Rose Bowl win this decade. Who gives a crap? I mean, honestly, Penn State, they aren't to the level of Michigan yet, but they're not far behind. Michigan, Notre Dame, and Penn State should all be looking at losing their blue blood status.
If you look at scandals, you just compare the scandals of those three teams, and we're trading trinkets for tattoos as our worst scandal versus pedophilia and Michigan. Like, I still think.
Well, and whatever went on with Manti Te'o's girlfriend.
Yeah, well, we can talk about that here in a little bit. So,
well, we're going to get to that in a minute. All right, we need to move on. That's enough of them jokers for a while. Okay, first rounds of the college football playoff. Oh my gosh, guys, it was awful. It was awful.
Wasn't good.
It was awful. Those last two games last night were. Listen, Corey is a professional painter by trade. I imagine Corey
used to be, yes.
Yeah, I have. That's his night job.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Your love, yeah.
You got it. You nailed that one.
Yeah. They call him
I'm a chiropractor in Sri Lanka, so.
They say that boring is watching paint dry. I have to imagine watching paint dry might be a little bit more entertaining than what we had to experience in those last two games in the college football playoff last year. I love me a good Cinderella story. In college football, maybe one. I don't need two. Too many. And then you've got Oklahoma literally looking like they had a deal with the devil and they lost, and literally was giving that game to Alabama because of Vegas or something. Like, it was crazy how they gave that game away Friday night. Saturday afternoon, we get to watch who our future opponent's going to be, in A&M versus Miami. Now, I will say this about that game. We're going to dive into that game. We're going to talk about Miami. That was an incredibly hard-hitting football game. Those defenses were absolutely crushing people. But as I watched that game, I kind of started to feel like we might have a better kicker situation in Ohio State.
Who would have ever thought that? Yeah.
Wow. I know the wind was blowing, but my goodness, people. 10-3, Miami goes into Texas A&M and beats the Aggies. That will be our opponent. I want your thoughts on the CFP, that game, and Miami. Corey, you get to go first.
Wait, the whole first round or just the Miami game?
You can give me a little bit for the first round, your thoughts, and then don't go right into Miami.
All right. Well, the committee should be embarrassed, 100%. This is a joke, and you're telling me Tulane and James Madison deserved it over like Notre Dame, Texas. Name somebody, even Vanderbilt. It would have been more competitive. And I know people want to talk about James Madison. Oh, they put up 35 on Oregon. Yeah, Oregon called the dogs off. They were up 48-13. The game was over, and they rested, and James Madison wanted to make a statement. Tulane showed they clearly didn't belong. I watched that game, and it was embarrassing. I was like, this is a preseason game. This is horrible. I mean, Miami, Texas A&M was very competitive. But Jaden Fielding was doing the Shannon Sharp gif where he just doing the whole, thing. But, and then of course, you had Oklahoma just self-destruct completely. And Brent Venables brought Clemsoning to Oklahoma, which was nice of him. But that being, I was watching that game too, thinking, man, this is embarrassing for Oklahoma. Anyway, so that being said, committee should be embarrassed. There's many better teams, 3, 4, 5 off the top of my head that I can think of that are better than James Madison and Tulane. But maybe this time they will figure it out. I don't know. Maybe next year they'll be like, okay, let's stop doing this Cinderella crap. Because Boise State of 2007 and who was the other one? I can't remember. But
SMU.
SMU. They were.
But they were ACC. But
No, not SMU. It was another one that actually like did well in a bowl game. I don't know. They were the exception, not the rule.
Okay.
Anyways, they're never going to have the depth to compete with these big boys. So, anyways, the team we're facing, Miami. I figured Miami would beat them. I think we all did, didn't we? We all on this panel predicted Miami would probably win that game. I thought it'd be a better win, but I don't know. I thought AMN was more fraudulent than what that. I don't think Miami showed me anything that they looked like, wow, oh my gosh, this is going to be a huge problem. I think their pass rush, but there's nothing about Miami. Fletcher's a good player. Our linebackers are better in Texas A&M by a mile. But I don't know. I think it's the better team of the two that we're facing, but I definitely don't think either one of them are at Ohio State's caliber. But it'll be a tough game, I think, either way. But I think we'll win by 2 touchdowns.
So it sounds like we're having some buffering issues, guys. We haven't seen it on our end. If it keeps doing that, I guess just refresh it. I think it might be YouTube on YouTube's end tonight because all 4 of us seem to be doing fine, right? I mean,
yeah, I'm not getting it.
Yeah, a lot of people are having issues. That sounds like it's a YouTube thing. Probably refresh.
Man, you just missed some brilliant commentary by myself. Sorry,
you
guys.
did. That was excellent. Repeat it again, please, Corey. Go.
Yes, word for word. Yes.
Bart, you're up, brother.
Sorry. Well, when Corey says the committee got it wrong, there's people out there saying the committee got it right because Miami and Alabama won on the road. It's like, are you kidding me? They just set this thing up. It's almost like everybody gets a participation trophy. So if you're part of this group, you automatically get in. That's not how the world works. The top 12 teams should get in. And I'm gonna steal your thunder here a little bit, Chris. But I know you're gonna say this, but Notre Dame should have got in. You were gonna say that, so I just took it from you. But it was a really boring game, all the games, and it was just pitiful. But with the Miami game, I am, scary confident. And I'm so confident in Patricia to stop their run that they're going to make Carson Beck pass, and that's exactly what we want. The only thing I'm concerned about is their pass rush with our offensive line, and if Vader's in here, maybe he can get to his source. Is what's the one way to stop a pass rush? Screens, and let them go up and take themselves out of place. That's the way to beat this team. But I think we will pick them apart. Their defensive backs aren't the greatest, and I think it's a perfect matchup for us.
So I'm going to explain to you later why, according to the current format, they got it right, and why the ACC needs to do better. But that'll be later in the show, guys. Right now, let's just review the first round, which absolutely did suck, as Eric said. You had, it was a case of we saw who belongs at the adult table at Christmas dinner and who needs to go back to the kiddie table. You had Oregon out there. They were absolutely ruthless in the first half. No drama, no mercy, no feel-good underdog story was going to happen here. James Madison just ran into a fully operational Death Star, and they were Alderaan. It's that simple. You talk about Oklahoma. Could there have been a more monumental collapse than Oklahoma? I don't know what happened there. At the end of the first quarter, Eric, we were ready to declare a power shift in the SEC. And by the halftime, it's like, what the hell did we just watch? Tulane, Ole Miss, it's what we expected. It's what we expected. But you know what? Hats off to the one decent game, at least defensively, in the playoff, and that was A&M and Miami. This sets the stage for what we wanted. Corey said it. I think everybody. Eric, did you pick Miami? I thought you took A&M.
I took A&M.
Yeah. Oh, well, Eric's a black sheep.
The people on the panel who knew took Miami to win. It just shows you can have all the money, facilities, and recruiting buzz you want, but if you got no killer instinct, same old story. And that's what happened to Texas A&M. You look at this through an Ohio State lens. I look at this as, man, I think the playoffs are good for us. We've got Miami, who I think we are absolutely going to decimate. Yes, they can play some defense, but I'm confident. We are going to see. I don't know if it's going to be as high powered as what we saw last year. I think that this is what Ryan Day has been saving these guys for. This is the reason we played an entire game of less snaps all season. Is for starting at this moment. I think Ryan Day is coming in with the same philosophy he had last year. Now, will we see quite as much of the wide open stuff? I don't know. I don't know that the offensive line is playing quite as well, especially that right side, as what we saw last year. And I don't know if he has the faith in a young Julian as much as he did Will Howard last year. But I think we're going to see him start speeding the game up a little. I really do. And I think that Miami's not going to know what the hell to do with it. We saw that with their lack of offensive production. I don't think they can keep up with us. So I think Miami can play defense. I'm with Bart. The one thing that does concern me is the pass rush. They got a couple pretty good defensive ends down there.
I think we all said that, didn't we?
But
I said it, Doc.
I wasn't listening to you, Corey.
That's fair. That I accept.
We were buffering, Corey. Sorry, we were buffering.
That's what it was. Yeah.
But overall, yeah, I think the pass rush is the only thing that concerns me, even in the slightest. I'm worried that they might get through the right side and absolutely destroy.
Yeah,
Julian
Bain versus
Sand.
Daniels is scary. So we'll say that.
But if we get nasty, Phillip Daniels, if we get mean Phillip Daniels back that we saw earlier in the season, I'm not too worried about it, to be honest.
Well, you can be nasty. Just get you out of your break quick enough to slow that guy down.
But, yeah, overall, I look at this as an Ohio State win here. And what I saw over this weekend, I don't think any of these teams, with the exception of maybe Oregon, any of these four teams is quarterfinal worthy.
Oregon defensively, I have questions about.
Yeah, I agree.
Oregon offensively, they are good, and I knew they would be. As far as the CFP is concerned, here's my takeaway from this. More transparency is good. I think they need to make two rules, and we must be doing really well tonight because we keep getting hit with spam hard in the chat. So that means we must be pulling a pretty big number to where they are interested in us.
Well, I didn't know they had full live games, so maybe I'm head over there.
They don't. It's don't click on that, people. Do not. If you want a virus, feel free. The more transparency in the game of college football is absolutely what we need. And there's two things I am calling for right now, and I'm going to be hammering this on this channel and on my College Huddle channel all off season long. All booth reviews should be transparent.
Yep.
There should be a camera in the booth, just like I think it was the ACC was doing that.
It was. Yeah.
It was.
Yeah.
Big 10, SEC, Big 12, all of you. Camera in the booth. Transparency, we need it. Other thing, when that committee meets, it's televised from here on out. Every conversation should be recorded and live on television or YouTube, whatever, and be streamed at all times from here on out. And if people are idiots, guess what's going to happen? People are going to call for them to get removed from it. I think transparency is a good thing. So those are my takeaways from the first round of the playoffs. Miami, boy, does this give you some feels, Buckeye fans. Does me, man. I've been thinking about 2002. Now, I know we played them in 2011. It didn't really go that great for us then, but 2011 in general didn't go great for us. But 2002, that is my second favorite game of all time as a Buckeye fan. First being the 1996 team that went to the Rose Bowl because my cousin was on the team. Shout out Ryan Miller. And that game, I can go back and I can watch that game anytime. I love that football game. And when they won that football game Saturday against A&M, I immediately it was like 2002 and my head happened all over again. I was a sophomore in college and like I could smell those smells and taste those tastes again. It was awesome. Corey, your feelings when you knew Miami was going to be the opponent in the second round of the CFP?
I didn't care who it was; just beat their ass. I mean,
Okay, Ryan Day. That's
what's fun?
Yeah, kicking butt. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, it's 23 years ago or whatever at this point. I mean, it's like saying, "Hey, UCLA brought up memories of the 19 whatever Rose Bowl," but that's what it is for me at this point. It was one of the greatest games ever. The 2002 game. I love the 2002 game, but were any of these kids alive when that happened? I mean, so. Michael Irvin will be coked out on the sideline, obviously.
He was on something Saturday. Holy crap.
He's clearly relapsing. I'm being serious. That something's wrong there. And I hope he gets help because it's looking bad. But that being said, he'll be on the sideline taking a belt to a pillow or whatever. I don't know. Who knows what he's going to be doing. Dancing with cheerleaders, getting too close to Kay Adams, a little close for comfort, a little bit cringe there. But again, they can bring out all the celebrity players that they've had, what they want. We're a better team. We're better coached. Ryan Day owes Cristobal. That's actually more relevant, I think, in my opinion, for these two teams because he got beat by Cristobal in Columbus when he was at Oregon. So he owes them there. And just go and as Ryan Day once coined, and I thought it was one of the greatest sayings he ever made, let them feel your violence. Just go out there and play like you know how to play. Forget the Indiana game. That's an anomaly for this team. Go out there and show them your Ohio State. Be the JT Barrett. I know, Eric, you hate JT, but still, go be the JT Barrett and say, let them know they came to play Ohio State today. Show some swagger. Know who you are. They think they're good. We know we're good.
If you want a way to get drunk, Eric, I think every time they show Michael Irvin on the TV, we drink.
Oh, my gosh.
And every time they show that pass interference call in the end zone, we drink.
Oh,
so freaking drunk. It's going to be unbelievable.
Don't give our new mutual friend Nick any reason, brother. Come on, man.
We know we don't need anything with that. But, and I think Chris said, their defenses, I think the opposite. I think their offenses suck. And when you have a 0-0 halftime score and you're in the playoffs, yeah, their defenses might be good, but they were going against a running quarterback who can't pass. I can go out there and stop them without scoring 0 points. I just don't think they have great offenses. That their defenses are good. Don't get me wrong, but we can if we're as good as we think offensively, we should have no problem. The other thing is I think Jeremiah Smith's going to be ultra motivated from being down there, growing up from there, getting recruited there, and that's kind of scary. But you get the ball out fast, you minimize their pass rush, and we'll be fine. So it doesn't bother me at all.
Hey, guys, I'll be right back.
But no, I'm very excited about this. I'm very pumped for this. I think this is a team we should handle at minimum a two touchdown victory in this. And that's if Ryan Day takes pity on them. And our buddy Sean Schrock, I think it was in the chat a few minutes ago, mentioned. You talked about, or Corey talked about Cristobal and Ryan Day. How about the fact that Miami's stolen a couple of our Ohio State recruits up here, man? In fact, wasn't Fletcher at one time?
Yeah. He was.
He was our boy. We were hot on him. So maybe Ryan Day wants to take this a little bit personally. And, I would love to see that. Absolutely. But, I'm excited for it, but I'm not concerned by it one bit that it's Miami.
Will the layoff, great question, Don. Will the layoff affect us in any way, Bart?
Yes and no. I would have to say no because we're a good team. But if you just go back to last year's bowl games, I'm hoping Corey feels better now. So if you go back,
Well, part of me does. Yeah.
if you go back to last year's bowl games, it definitely affected those people. Although I thought we were better in Oregon to begin with, but I think you're not as sharp as what you should be. But I'm not concerned because I think we're just a better team. Even if we're not the sharpest at the beginning, I still think we're a better team than Miami.
Chris?
That's fake news, Eric. I did not have to go number 2.
Oh, okay. Well,
You did.
Well, I thought, maybe Ward Manuel just got fired. I don't.
By the way, Corey, you missed me giving you credit earlier for finding Michigan's new head coach. That would be one Michael Irvin, who perfectly fits their culture.
He does.
But in answer to your question, Eric, will the layoff hurt him? I don't think so. Now, I know historically we've not done the greatest coming off of bye weeks. We start slow. We have a tendency to do that. But here's the thing. We can start slow and still go out there and beat Miami because, as we've saw, they're still stuck in park until the middle of the third quarter. Their offense is non-existent. It would be sad if it wasn't so pitiful. And you're right, Bart. I did give credit to the defenses. And I do think the defenses played well. I do think the defense has hit hard. But at the same time, Miami's offense is awful. Corey said it earlier. If we don't get a couple interceptions off of Beck, there's something wrong because that guy is absolutely mid. What do you have? 103 passing yards, I think, last week? Yeah, he had 103 passing yards, if I'm not mistaken. How do you go out there and claim to be one of the best teams in the country? And I've actually got it right here. And you go out there as their quarterback and you go 14 of 20 for 103 yards. He was averaging 5.2 yards per pass.
Yeah, they're going to try to mesh route us to death.
I'm telling you, I'm not at all concerned about this because even if we start slow, I think they play dead. So,
well, let's not sit here and pretend like Ohio State was putting up historical numbers against Indiana a couple weeks ago.
And they didn't. But if you want to compare them, we can do that.
And then on top of that, I maintain they got half of Ohio State. We had a million distractions that week.
But also the layoff, we get 100% healthy, and if you're going to tell me that they have to be motivated to play Miami, and they're going to start slow, then they're not prepared. And Ryan Day isn't the coach that we thought he was. I think they're going to be ready and prepared, and they're going to come out just like last year's playoff team and start fast. I honestly do.
And sometimes it just takes a loss to humble you a little bit. We saw it after Michigan last year. Nobody expected what they did to Tennessee. Nobody, except for Vengeance Rising. That was the only one that I.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and I remember him coming back going, "See, told you." And I was like, "Dude, you were right."
The Diesel Freak. Because the Diesel Freak called for 107 sacks. And 3 broken helmets.
You're right. You're right. You brought it up earlier, Corey, and I want to touch on it again. Mario Cristobal, he got the better part of Ryan Day when he was the head coach at Oregon. What do you think of this guy?
I think he's a good coach, not great. Hasn't done anything elite. He was solid at Oregon. Got the coaching job at Miami. He's a Nick Saban disciple, so it's he's got a good tutelage there. But he's improved Miami. He's been there 4 years. They've gotten better and better and better. So I can't say that he's. I mean, there's nothing like. I'm like. He's not like one of those like he's not Sharon Moore. Okay, let's put it that way. So. He's a solid coach, but he hasn't accomplished anything yet. So is this his route to get to a game that he should, by all rights, shouldn't be in? Or is Ryan Day going to say, I'm elite, you're good, and we're going to make things right? So we'll see what happens. I mean, we're more talented than Miami. We're more rested than Miami. We have allegedly a better coaching staff, even though we're questioning Hartline at the moment, where his loyalties lie at the moment. But that being said, I think Cristobal is like a solid coach who hasn't done it yet to enter that next level.
Can I just add? I don't think it was Cristobal that got Ryan Day. I think it was Joe Moorhead and the damn sweep right and those little the little.
You
flare
could
out,
argue
the
Kerry
little
Combs
wheel
got
back.
Ryan Day.
Kerry Combs may have gotten Ryan Day.
Oh, that
But
reminds
that's what it
me.
came down to.
I was at that game and on the home side, and there was stunned silence when Ryan Day was chewing out Kerry Holmes that day. I mean, shoot with his finger in his face, and Brian Hartline had to separate the two on the
Well,
sideline.
we saw what
I
happened after
remember
the
that.
game. He fired Kerry and said, "We're going to interim Matt." What I forgot his name was, but the linebacker coach. But yeah, he fired him after that game. I never even
forgot
seen
all
stuff
about
like
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's not relive that one. Yeah, no joke. All right, let's play a little game, and then we're gonna move on to our third and final topic for
Hope
tonight.
we're going to play a game.
We're gonna play a
Check.
game.
And
Parcheesi,
Renee
chess,
Martinez,
checkers,
hang in
what are
for
we
this
doing?
last topic.
What's that, Chris?
There's an Irish fan in the chat, Renee Martinez.
Oh yeah,
I said,
Martinez. He's
I
my
said,
man.
just hang around for that last topic.
Yeah.
Matt Barnes, thank you, Tyler. I remember. Yeah, Matt Barnes. Now I remember. Thank you.
Thank you, T. T's a walking Ohio State encyclopedia.
Exactly.
he's
And he
fantastic.
lives in the future. So
We have a Michigan fan in the chat who actually said he thinks I'm a pretty cool guy. Thank you.
He doesn't know you then, I assume.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So
Yeah.
Bart will tell you otherwise. I am going to read his comment there, though, because I think that this is a growing sentiment among their fan base. I never liked the Sharon Moore hire. We should have hired DeBoer, but Harbaugh wanted to hook up his guy. I think there's actually a lot of truth in that.
Yeah.
I do.
Well, Steve Deese even said that, like, if he were in charge, he'd go to Jimmy and say, "Hey, you left us a mess." So I think Michigan fans got to know what happened there.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, a couple Notre Dame people here. We're gonna get to your topic next, guys. All right. I'm going to say, I want you to come up with a word one word that describes the Miami program today. One word that describes Miami football today. Okay? And you cannot use the word convicts.
Can't use a word from 40 years ago. Yes.
Yes, because when people say Miami, the first thing that came to my mind was, oh, convicts. But that's, can't do that. So whenever you're ready, give me your word, and then you can explain to me why. Doesn't matter who. Go.
Who's going
Mediocre.
first? There you go.
Mediocre.
Ooh, Bart, mediocre. Go.
I
Explain.
just, when you go out there, I think it starts with their quarterback. He's mediocre. You watched him against Louisville and 3 interceptions that game. You've got to have a competent quarterback to lead you if you're going to win a national championship. And if he was any good, he'd still be at Georgia. How do you transfer from Georgia to Miami? You just don't see it, but they're mediocre to me. That's the best thing that happened to this program. Chris got muted.
Well, I muted myself so that I didn't cough in everybody's ears.
Oh, okay.
I would have to say the word overrated, because this is a team that offensively is just sad. This is a team that beats up on low-level ACC opponents, and that is entirely what their reputation is built on. That and the win over Notre Dame, which, again, we'll touch on later. But to me, this is a team that it's almost like they were there because we had to have an ACC representative.
I think it's true.
I really feel like that's what it is. This is an overrated team that did not belong in the playoff. And I'll tell you what, honestly, I still hold the truth that they deserve to be there more than Notre Dame, which tells you I don't think either one belong there.
Crybaby.
Ooh.
I am sick to death of that idiot fan base and those idiot alumni crying about 2002. Jonathan Vilma just said he had the national title stolen from him. Well, Jonathan, grab your whoopee and your pacifier, cry about it a little harder, suck your thumb, and realize that they almost stole it from us when they didn't call the holding on Chris Gamble when he got held, and he actually caught the ball. And we would have run clock, game would have been over right then and there. Stop whining. Get over it. It was 23 years ago. We won. You were shocked we could hang with you because nobody in the country thought we could, including most Buckeye fans, let's be real. C. Grant ended it for you because Ken Dorsey's a skinny rail of a wimp who couldn't fight off a sack to save his life. You weren't as good as you thought. You said you were going to have an after party after beating us, and guess what? Didn't happen because we crashed it. Get over it. Stop crying and look to the future. Because allegedly you're doing well. You think you're something special, and you haven't done anything yet but beat Texas A&M, who is also a fraud. So stop crying.
Corey's officially my hero.
Hey,
Right.
he seems like a lot more clarified after he took that poop. He's like, his brain is really working now. So, yeah, good job, Corey.
All right, here's my word.
Well, it's sitting on my brain, so.
I'm going to go with poser. I think Miami has been back for how many times in the last 20 years? And they've never been back.
Almost as often as Texas.
It is fake, phony. It's poser. And then I'll follow it up with prove me wrong. Martinez with a $9.99 super chat. Eric and Chris, you guys are Oregon better expose Signetti and Indiana for the frauds they are, bro. So I hope we could, but I'm afraid Bama might. I don't know.
It'd be interesting to Signetti versus Bama when Bama wouldn't give him a chance. So it'd be interesting.
Did you ever think that you would root for Alabama in anything?
I actually want to see Indiana win that game.
I kind of do, just so we can have a second crack at it.
I
want them to win just so we could crack on the SEC.
No.
Exactly, and I want to see Oregon, Indiana play again because I think Oregon will bring it to them.
See, I want Indiana all the way, and this is why. Because if Indiana gets knocked out and we go on to win the national title, Michigan Junior over there is going to be talking crap for an entire year.
What do you think they're going to do once they make it and we beat them? It's like, oh, we beat you guys once.
And that's what we want.
National championship.
That's what we want.
I don't want that at all. I don't want them to even be in the national championship game. I don't want them to say, hey, you guys beat us once, so we're co-champions. Not going to happen. I want somebody else to beat them, and then we win the national championship.
Miami equals Iowa for 20 years. I think Iowa might actually have been the better program the last 20 years than Miami, which is me having to admit that I hate Iowa. Ugh.
Well, it's almost like this happened 23 years ago, and they're still talking about that game.
It's all you're going to hear about, Bart. Get ready.
We got robbed. We got robbed against Clemson on the fumble return for a touchdown. We would have won that game. But guess what? We got back to that game. We played Clemson and beat the crap out of them. So who cares about that game anymore? But that's the only relevant game they've had in the last 23 years. And that's sad.
So we got what is it, 10 days or 11 days to talk about this from today?
10 days.
10 days. So we got plenty of time to dive into it. We're going to have plenty of shows around it, press conferences, live reactions, interviews. We might even do over on Patreon, selfless plug here for Patreon. I am going to ask Sean, I think he's still in the chat, to try to get some of the 2002 players together, and we're going to do a 2002 rewatch with the players. I think that would be freaking awesome to watch the national championship game with some of the guys who played in the game and get their live commentary throughout that rewatch of the game on Patreon. That, I think, would be awesome. So we're going to try to do that. All right. Moving on to our third and final topic for the evening, Notre Dame. I made a video yesterday. I I might actually be able. I am. Give me 1 second here. We're gonna play John's clip. John Kennedy. I have a clip from John Kennedy that I'm going to play for all of you, an audio clip. This is a short that he had yesterday. He made another one today, and I don't know of anybody who's got his thumb on the pulse of the fan base better than John Kennedy when it comes to Notre Dame. He's a good friend of mine. We spoke today with each other. This is what he had to say about the college football playoff from a Notre Dame perspective.
What a complete nightmare disaster this whole playoff thing has been for Notre Dame. I'm so bitter right now. And the problem is, it's like, well, Notre Dame fans are just bitter. Yeah, it's hard to identify at who, though. I'm mad at Notre Dame for losing to these two teams you had no business losing to. I'm mad at the ACC. I'm mad at the TV networks. I'm mad at the committee. And then what do? You sit there and watch it all unfold, making it all worse. This has been a nightmare experience for Notre Dame people. Not enjoyable at all, and I'm just getting more mad in every direction. Total nightmare.
Total nightmare. Oh, I love me some John Kennedy ranting. All right. Now, Chris, I know you're going to go. Maybe you surprised me, but you're probably going to go sit in it, is probably what you're going to say. I'm going to take Corey first here. As I was watching the first round of the playoffs unfold, I actually got angry for Notre Dame. There's no way you're going to be able to convince me, Chris, that team did not deserve to be in the first round of this playoff. You asked me straight up, would you rather play Miami or Notre Dame? Who do you think you're going to be able to beat? I'm going to say, give me Miami. I think Notre Dame is playing much better football at the end of the year than what Miami was. As I was watching this, I was getting a little
Chris,
bit.
You're starting to scare me a little bit.
Yeah, I know. As I was watching the CFP, I was getting a little bit of what you call righteous anger build up inside of me a little bit. For my friend John Kennedy and for some of our Irish friends who are in the chat tonight, they should have been in this first round at some place. Corey, go.
Well, losses do have to have consequences. They do, even early in the year. Even though what I hate about, and this is one aspect of Colin Cowherd I've actually agreed with over the years, is he says college football teams historically are never allowed to get better. Notre Dame clearly got better, but they didn't play anybody after. I mean, you could say maybe USC, but USC was a mid-team probably. But they didn't really play anybody after those two teams. And they lost by a combined 4 points with a freshman quarterback. So you could call it a rebuilding year, technically, I guess you could say. They probably, and it was a controversial how they lost to A&M, but you shouldn't be in that position. So I understand the argument for letting them out or leaving them out. I just think if you want the 12 best teams at the end of the season, and I understand, and this is where I agree with Chris, the format, they did get it right according to their own format, but for college football purity, college football fans, you can't tell me Notre Dame wouldn't. Miami deserved to be in, A&M deserved to be in, but you can't tell me Notre Dame is not a better choice than James Madison or Tulane. Two teams we knew, and we were all saying it on the panel, we knew we're not going to be competitive. We knew it. And it actually hurts the college football product overall. So what are we doing here? Are we protecting an arbitrary system that the committee kind of created, and quite frankly, they've gotten a lot wrong in any ways they go forward? Or are we trying to protect the product of college football, which quite frankly right now might be bleeding a little bit in the sense that because of NIL and players changing, the transfer portal, coaches leaving, and scandals and things like that going on. I mean, it makes for interesting fodder, but I think we've all talked about the fact that our love for college football has died a little bit with all the changes that has taken place in the last half a decade. So in my opinion, I would have put Notre Dame in, even though it doesn't call for it in the current system, because I know they're better than James Madison. I know they're better than Tulane. I know they would have given either Ole Miss or Oregon a much better game. maybe even beaten Ole Miss. I don't know about Oregon for sure or not, but I don't know. That's how I view it. It's more heart than head, I guess, but that's just where I'm at with it.
Well, I'm going to talk for about 50 minutes, and then we're going to have to wrap up the show, Eric. Is that okay?
Can we buffer some more?
Yeah, we buffer some more. Listen to John Kennedy. He's very animated and blamed a lot of people. Guess who he didn't blame? Not being in a freaking conference. You're in the ACC, you make it. That's all it is. And they want to whine and cry, oh, you know what? They want to play with a different set of rules. Well, if you do, you're going to get burned by those rules until next year, until the committee says, oh, poor Notre Dame, if you're one of the top 12, we're going to get in. It's their fault. If they want to be like every other freaking team in the country to have a conference, then you're going to get in. And when you say Notre Dame got better, how do you know? They lost to two freaking mediocre teams, and then they run roughshed over mediocre teams. How do you know they got better, or their competition just was that worse? But with going Corey, they would have beat James Madison, and they would have beat Tulane. They would have been better games than that. So I think they should have been in, but it's their own fault. If you want to play this elite person that, hey, I don't need to be joining a conference, but I still want to play with everybody else, that's the consequences you get. And after that, I'm going to hand it to Chris and see what he had to say about how he loves Notre Dame.
What was the question? was the question was the question, did Notre Dame get screwed? Absolutely freaking not. They did not get screwed. Think about this for a minute. Crybaby Notre Dame fans, let this soak in. Corey talked about Miami being crybabies. No comparison. Not even close. Notre Dame is a bigger crybaby fan base than Miami. The only thing that got screwed was reality by all the Notre Dame fans pretending the rules don't apply to them. Now, let's start with the part that Notre Dame fans conveniently forget, which is the rules were written before the season that Notre Dame agreed to, which is the 12 spots, you get the 5 highest ranked conference champions. Is it our fault the ACC sucked? No. Is it our fault, as Bart pointed out, that Notre Dame decided not to play as part of the ACC? No. They took the 5 highest ranked conference champions, and that's who played. Just like it states in the rules that Notre Dame agreed to. And the way the national coverage, the structure exists to avoid turning playoffs into a cartel. That's why the structure exists as it does. Should the group of 5 have their own playoff? I've got opinions on that. I think they probably should. But you know what? I would shoot Notre Dame into that category anyhow, since they don't want to be a part of a Power 4 conference. Notre Dame wants to be shoehorned in on tradition and on the fact that they're a brand and on the fact that they draw fans. Who cares? Michigan draws fans. Did they belong in the playoff? Hell no. Notre Dame chose independence, as Bart said. Nobody forced them to. And independence means you don't get a conference title path. That means either you win more games, you play a tougher schedule so you can get some quality losses to offset the games you lost, or, and Eric, this is the one that's lost on them, and it's the simplest options. You win the freaking games that are on your schedule. It's that simple. And you got Notre Dame fans out here screaming the committee was inconsistent. Hell yes, they were inconsistent. And you know what? Inconsistency may exist, but that doesn't mean the decision was wrong. Based on the rules, it was right. And they whine, and I almost went non-family friendly though. They whine about Alabama getting in at 10-3. But Alabama, whether we like it or not, and we all have our opinions on the SEC's ranking system, but they played a top 10 strength of schedule, had a top 10 strength of record. They beat Georgia on the road. They beat Vanderbilt. They beat Missouri. They beat Tennessee. 4 ranked wins. How many quality wins did Notre Dame have? Not a damn one, and don't give me USC. Because USC was mid at best.
I disagree. I disagree with that.
Well, you're allowed to be wrong, Eric. Nobody said you could.
Can I correct you on one thing, Chris?
Yes.
Notre Dame did not choose independence. They wanted to join the Big Ten. Fielding Yost at the time from Michigan was anti-Irish,
he cried about it, yes.
and he kept them out. And so they were.
But they could have chose the ACC.
Yeah, that's
They've
exactly
been a partner with them.
I don't
every
think
every other sport they're in the ACC is in their conference except for football. Why is that? So don't tell me that. Yeah, I agree with the Big Ten, but don't tell me that today's society you can't join the ACC and they could have a weak schedule and still get into the playoffs in the ACC.
And you know what? James Madison and Tulane, they went out and did what they had to do. They won their conferences.
Now, this is a very interesting super chat from Adam Dowling. Welcome in, Adam. Good to have you with us. Friend of mine, met him over at Always Irish, and a Notre Dame fan. As a Notre Dame fan, you lose twice, you deserve to be out. I publicly made a video over on the College Huddle where I publicly apologized to you guys. I made a statement. I'm going to stand by my statement. But I made a statement at the beginning of the year that there's a handful of teams who, if you win 10, you're in. I call it the 10 and in group. Ohio State, the team up north, Notre Dame. Those are the 3 schools in the north. You win 10, you get in. Alabama, Georgia, and the south, maybe Texas. You win 10, you get in. Oregon and USC in the west, you win 10, you get in. It's the 10 and in group. Notre Dame won 10, they didn't get in. I was shocked by that. I was floored by that.
Now can I push back a little, because I'm gonna say something to Adam Dowling. I think a 2-loss Notre Dame team had the right to be in if they would have had quality wins to offset it. You look at Ohio State last year. They are a team that lost to Oregon. They lost that team up north. But they had ranked wins to kind of offset that. That's how they get into the playoff. If Notre Dame would have had the same type of quality schedule and the opportunity to play in a conference, just going to keep throwing that out there to you, then I truly believe Notre Dame is in. And you know what? Again, Notre Dame, and I see your super chat, Adam. Yes, the Big Ten created it, but there's nothing that said Notre Dame couldn't join the ACC. They couldn't join the SEC. They couldn't join the Pac-12 when it existed. They couldn't join the Big 12. They could have joined any of a number of conferences. Just because Fielding Yost is a douchebag does not mean that Notre Dame could not be in a conference. That's an excuse.
So how old is Fielding Yost?
How old is he?
Is he dead?
Yeah.
Long dead.
Okay, let me ask you this. Do you think the Big Ten still has that Catholic bigotry? Or
no, of course they
no,
don't.
not at all.
So about 5 years ago, or whenever, when we were realigning and trying to get more people in.
We tried to get them at that
Exactly.
time.
So don't give me that crap where, Fielding Yost is, Fielding. You know what? It's a different time and day, and they could have got into the Big Ten if they wanted to, but they didn't want to. So
all right.
You're saying about this,
okay, I can hear that, but again, little bit of and Bart, you weren't around at this time, but let's go back to 2020, Chris.
Yep.
What were we all saying we should do because of stupid Karen, as we called him, Karen Warren?
We had talked about jumping conferences or going independent.
Okay, thank you for your honesty. Not too long ago, what were the Michigan fans just clamoring for when them and USC, when that whole investment group wanted to come
potentially
in?
Jumping conferences or going independent? And jumping conferences has always been an option. It is an option.
You know, I don't even want to hear about the Fielding Yost crap. It was the 1920s.
Yes,
Good Lord.
exactly.
That's
Exactly right. This is just more whining and crying by a elitist and entitled fan base. That's all this is. And let me tell you the high point of their entitlement.
Hey, you were just in the hospital. Calm down.
The high point of their entitlement is this BS agreement, this memorandum they've got for next season that is unfair to every team in college football, not named Notre Dame, that gives them a free pass as long as they're ranked in the top 12. Bullcrap!
All right, let me ask you a question. Yes or no, and give me your reasoning why real quick. Corey, would you like to see Notre Dame in the Big Ten?
No, 100%. Creates more great football, and they should be in a conference. I do agree with Bart and Chris on that one. So join the Big Ten. We're not anti-Irish or anti-Catholic anymore. Fielding Yost is long gone. Nobody even thinks about him anymore, quite frankly. And yeah, I would love Notre Dame in the Big Ten, 100%.
Okay, I got to read this comment. This is too good. Troy is the best. The depression wasn't even great yet. I'm sorry. The things he says cracks me up. Go ahead, Bart.
Hey, you know who does talk about Fielding Yost? Notre Dame. So they want to say all this whole thing about that. But, you know, your point, Eric, I think you were trying to make is we wanted to be maybe independent one day. That's fine. Let's go independent. But then don't cry and whine when you don't have the record to resume. Independence is fine. But then say, oh, we need to be in because we're independent. You can't be independent and use that excuse. But to answer your question, I would 100% love Notre Dame to be in the Big Ten. I think it would create a great football rivalry that could you imagine the ticket sales, the TV rights? I mean, they're just wasting money by not joining the Big Ten. They would, but I don't think Notre Dame wants to do that because they're going to get 3 or 4 losses in a year, and they don't get to have that free ride to the freaking championship every year by getting only 1 loss. So
facts. You know, I would absolutely love for Notre Dame to be in the conference because I would love an automatic win every year.
I don't know about that.
We're not anti-Irish. We're anti-Marcus Freeman because he's a douche.
He would be there. He's a good coach.
You know, it's. I'm just tired of the crying and the entitlement that is linked to Notre Dame and their fan base. I'm sick of it.
Can you put that super chat on there? I'd love to answer that one.
Either be a big boy.
Adam, it was 100 years ago. It's like Michigan fans claiming the rivalry series after they played football like 14 years before we even started football. I mean, good Lord. You know what? I don't know if I'll tell you this, but it's time to move on. It's past time to move on.
I mean, guess what? Segregation is back then today too. It's like, oh, they say so we're not going to interfere with everybody. It's like,
yeah. Let me read.
It was 40 years before the Civil Rights Act. I mean,
let me read the comment for our audio people who listen to the podcast on audio so that they know what we're talking about. Adam's comment from his $4.99 super chat. Thank you again, Adam. Appreciate you, my man. It would be like you starting your own business. The people that tried to break your business said you have to join your group.
It's not the people anymore. They're long gone.
They're gone. Yeah. But this has been, Bobby, Chris, please tell Bobby I'm sorry. I was not this. That's never my intent to get you this fired up. But when I sent you all what we were going to talk about tonight, you literally replied to me, "Are you trying to kill me?"
Hey, we know his heart's good now, Eric. So you're just testing him. Yeah.
You know what really upsets me? The Civil War. Let's talk about that some more.
Okay. Marcus Freeman.
Oh, no, come on. Okay, I'm dialing 911, and I'm going to hit send. He gets it.
Bart, have your figures ready for the phone call.
I got it.
Marcus Freeman, there was some smoke that he might consider leaving Notre Dame for the NFL. I didn't believe it. Notre Dame fans in the chat, I got to hear your do you think he'll leave? It sounds like there's some legitimate people who think he might consider the New York Giants job. If how I want to present this is if Marcus Freeman calls you up for advice, this is really going to put Chris in a tough spot. You have to advise Marcus Freeman on whether he should take that job or not. Corey, what are you going to say to Freeman?
Well, first of all, I want to talk about how the French Revolution impacts Freeman's contract. So, I'm not going to get off this. This is the stupidest argument I've ever heard. 1920. Anyways, Freeman's smart to stay where he's at. You got it made in the shade. Fan base loves you. You're going to make as much money as you want to make there. With NIL coming around, they're recruiting really well. Now they have a goof. Now the NCAA has bent over backwards to give them a goofy deal, like Chris was talking about, to make it into the playoff next year, so they don't have to join a conference, which they should. We all know they should, but now the NCAA doesn't want them to. So no, I think it'd be dumb, especially for a team like the Giants. Like, why would you want to leave for that dysfunctional organization? Stay at Notre Dame. If I were his agent, I'd say use the leverage, use the smoke as leverage to get a raise, maybe, but don't leave Notre Dame.
He's probably, if I had to talk to him, I would tell him he's probably the greatest independent coach that is in the country right now for an independent team.
Thanks to Fielding Yost.
And the French Revolutionary War, that's what we learned tonight.
Next, we're going to talk about Roman culture. No.
I completely agree. That was exactly what I was going to say, Corey. But the thing of it is, your ultimate goal, you always want to move up. And your ultimate goal is to be an NFL head coach. But you've got to have the right opportunity. Mike Vrabel going to the Patriots, great opportunity. Marcus Freeman going to the freaking Giants, not. He would probably last 2 or 3 years. But if you get fired, you get that severance package or whatever they're owed to you, and you could probably name your college you can go to. But I agree. If I was telling him, stay where you're at, you've got it made. Now the committee says if you're in the top 12, you have to be in. So you just got to have your cupcake schedule again. Just don't lose the first 2 games, and you got it made.
Bye, Felicia. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Dude, you can't count to 11. You got no business shaping young men. Get the hell out. Go to the Giants. Go up there to the NFL where you can surround yourself with a bunch of intelligent coordinators who can tell you what to do so that you don't end up crying about losing your first 2 games again. That's what needs to happen. Go up there and fix the New York Giants. Because let me tell you something, you have nothing left to offer college football, you piece of trash.
You're the worst agent ever, Chris.
Yeah, you're the worst agent. I would have fired you if you were my agent.
I believe in honesty.
Here you go, Corey. Your boy Steven says, Don thinks Freeman to the Raiders. How should I feel about that?
Honestly, if I were the Raiders, I'd rather have him than Pete Carroll at 78 years old or whatever. I think Pete Carroll and Fielding Yost were best friends. So.
And you know what? Wasn't Kirk Ferentz on the staff?
Yeah, probably. And I mean, Chris, you had season tickets, so I mean.
The day Notre Dame joins a conference, the way college football is changing, and we're the NFL light, the day Notre Dame joins the conference, I'm really going to have to look back and say, how did we get here? Because that is just a part of tradition in college football to me. I've accepted it. I love college football's tradition. I hate what's happened to bowl season. I hate it.
I know a lot of people don't care. Doesn't matter anymore.
Well, you can thank Marcus Freeman for that too.
Yes, it is Marcus Freeman's fault. No, it's Fielding Yost's fault.
Oh, sorry.
Bart, it wasn't you and Corey tonight. It was actually Chris and Corey tonight. How about that?
Yeah.
Hey, it's been family friendly.
Yes, you have. Thank you. I won't have to take this one down like the last one.
You know, Chris and I can get a lot worse. Chris, I'm actually proud of Chris because after that Freeman rant, he kept it family friendly and he said what he had to say. Chris, take a bow, seriously. There you go.
Oh man, this has been a ton of fun tonight, guys. Listen, I seen a lot of great questions in the chat tonight. We've got 10 days minus Christmas Eve and Christmas to fill up with content for all of you. And we're gonna have all kinds of great stuff going on. We are either going to have, I know Renee, you've been asking a couple times, man. We're either going to have the call-in show tomorrow night or the Buckeye Ladies. The Buckeye Ladies usually go on Thursday nights. Obviously, Christmas is Thursday. I asked TG and Mika if they would be willing, and they wanted to do their show tomorrow night. And Mika's a little under the weather. We're going to see how she's feeling tomorrow and then make a decision. So either tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, it's either going to be the Buckeye Ladies or it's going to be the call-in show. And I do believe Chris is running the call-in show tomorrow if it is. So you said, hey, when's the next call-in show? I tentatively tomorrow night at 8 o'clock.
Chris versus Renee Martinez.
It will be the Martinez Wilds call-in show. And
Pay-per-view.
Chris, you can take the timer off when Martinez calls in. Okay. If we're doing the call-in show tomorrow night. So,
hey, Eric, if you don't do the call-in show tomorrow night, would you do it on a Wednesday night? The day before, is that
Christmas Eve?
Christmas Eve?
No.
Oh, okay. So Christmas gets in the way of Ohio State football? Come on, people. Is this fielding Yost right
Priorities.
now?
Priorities. Come on.
Come on, bro.
Renee, I promise you, I will be happy to answer. Just go ahead and shoot that area code in the chat for me.
Yeah. We will have a call-in show. I promise you, we will have a call-in show before the Miami game at some point, okay? And then if I look at my calendar correctly, let me see. So our game is Wednesday night, a week from Wednesday.
Yes.
Against Miami. So we're going to have to move things around in the schedule a little bit to fit everything in because of Christmas, a little inconvenience of Christmas of the OHIO podcast.
You know, I got that wrong. I thought the game was on Thursday. It's like, wait, but that's Christmas. So it's the following Thursday. So, yeah, sorry.
That's okay. So we're learning together. But thank you so much for coming in, everybody. Make sure you hit that thumbs up if you haven't already. If you're not subscribed to the channel, please do so. We just went over 6,400 today. And we've had over 1,400 new subscribers in the last 28 days. So give yourself a round of applause. All of you in the chat, thank you so much for sharing the show on your social media accounts with your friends and family. We have gained a lot of new people. And here's a cool story for you that I thought was so funny. We went over to my mother-in-law's house for Christmas tonight on that side of the family this afternoon and tonight. And I guess it would be what would she be? My mother-in-law's sister. What would that be? I don't know. Someone help me out with what that would even be. But my mother-in-law's sister.
Your aunt-in-law?
Aunt-in-law? Okay, aunt-in-law.
It's called incest.
It's Bart.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Come on. She says to me, I got a text from my son who lives in Washington. I think it's Washington. He's in the military. And she said in the text was a picture of you and said, look who I saw on YouTube today. Look when I looked up Buckeyes. So we're getting out there. We're making the inroads among Buckeye Nation and beyond, and that is all because of all of you. We really do appreciate you so much for helping us out. And the next thing you could do if you want to be take another step and get even more content and be a part of our community is go be a part of Patreon. The link is below there. And if you go to Patreon, we literally will shoot a link out sometimes when we're just hanging around watching stuff, and you can be a part of the show. And the other night we had, what was it, eight different people at one time hanging out watching the Alabama and Oklahoma game. It was so much fun. You get Buck Vader's his blog. He runs the message boards. He's connected to the program. You get insider information before anybody else. He even had a whistleblower from Michigan the other day drop some information on his lap. So It is
Was it
well
the
worth.
DoorDasher?
What's that?
Was it the DoorDasher?
No, no, stop it.
It was,
It is well worth the $5. Okay.
It was fielding Yost. It was a whistleblower.
Can I start a podcast called The Butterfly Effect? How Fielding Yost has changed world history.
Did the rumor come with a plan B?
You guys are terrible. On that note, be kind to one another. I am someone's OH. Sing Carmen, Ohio, with all your heart. Remember my wife tomorrow. She takes a stress. We got to get up super early. She has a stress test tomorrow. So remember her in your thoughts and prayers. Appreciate y'all. Till next time, take care, everybody. OH.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Go Bucks.
And Fielding Yost.